Yo, Reggie.
Johnny, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I appreciate you taking time to talk to me. I've been looking forward to this for a while, man. This is going to be good.
Oh, yeah, dude. Hey, no, and also thank you for your time, man. I appreciate that as well.
Oh, absolutely, man. I've been following you guys since some of the early days, since before Swan Songs came out. Now we're 5 records in, with 5 with V comes out next Friday, the 27th, and the progression and the maturity on this record that I've seen you guys come up to this point, it's been outstanding. I feel like this upcoming record is probably one of the most musically mature records you guys have done so far. How are you feeling about it leading into it?
Well, dude, I really appreciate that, man. I think, finding that balance, it's tough for a band because, we have, obviously just playing music longer and longer, you get into your interests change and what you want to do changes. But when you're in a band, you still have to stay true to being in that band. So, finding that balance, it's always a challenge because you're so Hollywood Undead and you have to make Hollywood Undead songs. But, oh, man, I'd love to try this and I'd love to try that. And a lot of that stuff may not suit. So finding that gray area where, we can make fans happy and it's still an HU record, but we can experiment, we can kind of go in other directions. So that way we're interested in doing it still. That's always a challenge, and I appreciate that because we really worked hard to push our boundaries and at the same time make something that, HU fans can stick to and go, okay, this is still, the band that I grew up with or whatever the case may be. And I think we did a pretty good job of it. Records can always be better, and I'm one of those guys that when a record's done, all I look at is what I wish was there as opposed to being happy with what is. I suppose that's probably a very narcissistic and pessimistic attitude, but I can't help it. But
you got to be a perfectionist.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
Dude. No, go ahead. Sorry, man.
It's all good. Well, yeah, going back to what you said, I mean, at this point in your career, I mean, you're always going to have those fans from the early days that they're always going to want, like, the Everywhere I Goes, or even, like, going way back to, like, the Dead in Ditches type songs. But then you're going to have the songs that came...
Yeah.
Then you have the fans that came in kind of later in the game that maybe they may want something that's more along the lines of, like, maybe Believe or, something along those lines. And I feel like with this record, you did it on the last record, too, with songs like War Child, but you give people the best of both worlds on this album, I feel like. And is it hard to find that balance, or is it getting easier as you get further into the career?
I would say it gets harder, to be honest with you. I think, and I appreciate that too. I mean, I think the band, it's built of components, and most band components are different than ours. So making them all work together, it's not hard getting the components right, but making them blend, making them mesh in a way that from song 1 to song 15 or whatever the case may be works together. That can be difficult, but the challenging aspects of music to me are the most interesting. When a song's really easy and it comes out, there's great things about that. But when you're in the studio and you're totally deadlocked on like what you're doing, there's something I relish about the problem solving, and kind of figuring it out. And sometimes you fail and sometimes you succeed. And I mean, even going back to what you mentioned, like, songs like Dead in Ditches and all these songs, a lot, what I run into a lot is like, hey, man, I'd love to hear another song like that. But people don't realize they wouldn't, because if you did, they go, oh, that's just like that. Why would you do that? So you have to really take an objective viewpoint of, okay, fans think they want to hear something, but you have to be one step ahead and know what they actually want to hear may not be what they think they want to hear. So there's a lot of, like, insight that goes into it. But usually when we're in the studio, we really just kind of do what we want to do, and you try not to consider too much what outside parties want. Right. Because if you start doing that, you're going to go down a maze that you're never going to get out of, because even if someone wanted something, someone else doesn't. So you just have to stay true to your integrity and kind of do what you believe. And as long as you do that, at least the people who like the music will like it for the right reasons. You're not writing it for someone else or to cater to someone else. So we try and keep it all balanced. We lose some, we win some, but I think we did pretty good on this one.
Yeah, and one song that really stands out to me is Black Cadillac. I believe that is the first official, release track where you guys have done a collaboration on a record so far.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Man.
It was. Dude, that song is awesome. Is that something you guys wanted to do from the get-go, or did that come up while you guys were in the studio recording?
We've talked on every record. We consider an appearance, but we're very particular on like who we want. There's people I love, rappers, singers, different people that I really respect and I like, but I also know that wouldn't fit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so there's collabs that I'd love to do in theory, but they wouldn't work. So
Sure.
when Be Real popped up, not only just as part of our history, we all grew up in LA, and so did they, and we grew up on Cypress Hill. I mean, that was what I listened to through my high school years, So there's not only the nostalgic aspect of holy shit, Be Real's on a track with us, but our MOs as bands are very similar, and we vibe with him really well. We're gonna go out and shoot a video for it with him when we get to LA, and we're gonna do a smoke box show, which I'm dreading because I'm a very lightweight human being when it comes to smoking weed. I'm like, oh god. But how do you say no to Be Real, bro? You can't.
Right.
You
can't do that.
Hit it.
Yep.
So I'll probably be passed out in the back seat by the end of the interview, but it's really exciting, man. And to have someone like Be Real on board who likes the band and to have that much respect for someone and for them to return that, dude, I mean, it's a really cool feeling. And one of those things throughout our musical career that I'll always be pretty proud of.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Cypress Hill because I just caught you guys a couple weeks ago down in Louisville at Louder Than Life, and playing that festival was Prophets of Rage with, that's basically Rage, Cypress Hill, and Public Enemy combined. I mean, Hollywood Undead, I feel like you guys are like the quintessential just festival, just you're perfect for the festivals like that because those festivals are a party. You guys know how to party. It's great. It's fun. And just how much fun was that festival? You guys played it a few years ago.
I love festivals are always a good time. Like you said, playing shows, it's obviously very different. It's much more personal. Mm-hmm. Everybody there is a fan of yours as opposed to a fan of a bunch of bands or another band. And that's great. And I love shows like that, getting that personal connection. But like you said, festivals are just a straight party. And, we always make a concerted effort. One thing I love sad music. I love depressing music. I love writing sad and depressing music. But when we play, the real goal to me of a live show is to let people have fun. People want to have fun. They work all week or they have these problems there. They're in school, whatever the case may be. You're supposed to be able to go and let go of those things. So we try not to bum anyone out. We want people to have a good time while we're playing. So that's really with our show, we try and keep it, we play our heavy stuff and we play serious stuff, but the overall vibe of the show is always going to be everybody out there needs to have a good time. We want to have a good time. Let's forget about the bullshit outside of the show. And, we always try and keep that in mind when we play.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, going back to the record, I feel like this record... Sorry, I'm driving. Sorry, there's lots of bumps.
Oh, it's all good, man.
I feel like with this record, you guys focused a lot more, I feel like, on Danny's vocal skills and vocal abilities on the song. He's featured a lot more on this record than on previous ones. He's singing a lot more. His vocals have come a long way since he joined the band as well. Is that something that you would agree with that you guys wanted to do? Or, I mean, I just feel like it's a lot more musical.
Yeah, I mean, dude, here the truth is we try and push all of us try and push the other, maybe hold each other, somewhat accountable. You want to get better. That's sort of like a goal like anything else. So if people aren't getting better, you're getting worse. And, that's really the goal when we step into a studio. So yes, I think honestly everybody's progressed and everybody's getting better. And that really is the goal at the end of the day. Because like I said, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. There's no such thing as holding still in the music industry. So we just push each other and we do our best and we challenge ourselves. We don't let go of the easy route. So I think it comes through and I definitely appreciate it.
For sure. One thing I wanted to ask you about, and if you don't want to comment too much on it, I understand, but a lot of fans have been talking about it. The Kurlzz departure this time around. Is that something you want to touch on at all, or is that something that maybe it's just better left as it is?
I mean, I don't want to get into the details.
Of course.
But the truth is, and I know people really want to know one part, there's absolutely no bad blood. It's not like
in the past
anything like that. I don't want to get into the details because that's someone's personal life that I would be getting into, so I don't do that. But I absolutely support him. I absolutely wish him the best, and I know that is vice versa. So we're fortunate it wasn't some big blow up or anything like that. It's just,
right.
Things change in life, and there's nothing you could do about it. And there's absolutely nothing, and no animosity or anything like that.
Good. It's got to feel good to have a lineup change where finally there is none of that bad blood going on. There's no drama, because I know that in the past there was, but finally finally something's being done the right way with something like that, and it's good to see everything on the same page. So
that's cool, man. I appreciate it.
Definitely, as a fan, that's the way we want it. But I got to talk about the headline tour, man. You're out on the road right now. I'm excited. Butcher Babies. That tour. I mean, how much fun is that tour right now with a band like that on the road with you? I mean, that's got to be a party all the night.
It's a blast every night, and we also have a guy named Demrick.
Yes.
He's a rapper, and he's one of the coolest dudes I've ever met. I'm already in love with this guy. We've only been out for 3 weeks, and I'm already like, dude, this guy's one of my best friends. So
nice.
The whole combo, the whole team, we've been on the bands with, on tour with bands that you just don't see. It's nothing. I've never had drama, but it's more like, people click or people don't click, and everybody clicks really well, and everybody's having a great time. And, that's important, man, because if you're going to go out there and try and make other people have a good time, you better fucking be having a good time. Otherwise,
exactly.
It's a hard sell. So it's been really fun, man. And, this tour is really, really long, and I'm happy we have good company along the road, because it can get pretty dogged if you're not having a good time. So we're just happy, and the fans' reaction obviously keeps us driven. People like the new music, and people are coming out. So that's always a key component. But everything, seems to be lining up really. I mean, I have absolutely no complaints, man.
Speaking of a good time on this tour, I'm pumped because in a couple weeks, I think in about a month, you're coming to one of my favorite venues ever, Pierre's in Fort Wayne. And that place...
Oh, dude, you love Pierre's?
Well, it's like my favorite venue, man. It is just like, there's just something about that venue that when you go to a show there, you better bring, whether you're a fan or the band, bring your A game. Because that place is just ridiculous.
What's funny is Pierre's logistically. It's funny that you mentioned Pierre's, because, we've played, this is probably our 6th, 7th time through there. There's this odd, weird octagon stage. There's a weird room. Like, when you walk in, you're like, this is going to be fucking weird. But every time, by the end of the set, I'm like, dude, that was awesome, because the fans, they really bring it, man. And,
they do.
Sometimes fans will challenge you. They'll be like, you have to step up to their level.
Yeah.
Pierre's is always one of those shows where I'm like, dude, we need to be really solid, because these guys are paying a fucking attention. And, no, Pierre's is always fun, man, and it really is funny, because from the outside looking in, you'd be like, oh, this isn't a good venue. This is weird. This whole layout's odd. But every time we do it, man, Pierre's is always comes through, man. I have to agree with you. I really do wholeheartedly agree that it's one of my favorites as well.
That's the first thing I thought when I went in. My first show ever at Pierre's was Hinder. And I walked in, I'm like, what am I getting myself into with this place? This is the weirdest setup. It's got, like, what is this place? And by the end of it, I'm like,
I know.
I'm like, this is the best place I've ever been. This is amazing. It's a 2.5-hour drive for me one way. And I'm like, nope, I'm going. It's
that's all. Are you gonna come down to Pierre's this time, Reggie?
Oh yeah. I'll be there for sure. I cannot wait. I mean, from the second this show,
cool.
The second your guys' date was announced at that venue, it's on my calendar. And I mean, it's gonna be a good time. I mean, and I believe that show is all ages now. I think. I'm not sure.
I hope so. Yeah, they have that 18 and over. And that I don't mind those shows, but I feel bad, because those kids, that live around there that want to see you and they're not 18, it's got to be a total bummer. So I hope it is all ages now.
Yeah, one thing that I think is really, really cool is, even though honestly, a lot of your guys' lyrical content is very, very mature, you guys still have a really young fan base too. Is that up there singing those lyrics and stuff and seeing the young kids in the crowd? What is that like for you guys on the stage to see the kids interacting with you guys as much as they are? I mean, is it kind of a surreal feeling?
No, I'll be honest, man. I think kids are much, much smarter than adults give them credit for.
I agree with that.
And in fact, I actually think kids are quite a bit brighter than most adults. So for them to get it and be a part of it doesn't surprise me in the least. It's much harder getting through to a 40-year-old than it is a 15-year-old.
Kids are more open-minded.
Dude, they're not only open-minded, they're very they're self-aware, man. They're trying to figure themselves out. So we write music that questions things, obviously kids are going to be drawn to something where they, they respond to it or they feel like you understand what they're going through. And yeah. I mean, I love having a young fan base because I love their enthusiasm for music because it reminds me it's easy to become jaded and, kind of, oh, this is work, this is a business. It's very easy, and I've seen it so many times with musicians. But having a young fan base keeps my observation young. And I go, okay, cool, man, we have a responsibility to some young kids who really do, might dictate their life to some degree, whether it's small or big, on the music they listen to. And I keep that in mind. And I know we say things that some adults would say, hey, kids shouldn't say that. But you got to get your head out of your ass if you think kids don't say this shit when you're not around or don't think these things or don't know these things. It's much better to have an open candor with the kids today than pretending the stuff doesn't exist because they fucking know, man.
Yeah.
I've been saying fuck since I was 5. I didn't say fuck in front of my parents until maybe I was 15, but I was saying fuck that whole time. They may not, you got to accept that kids are a lot brighter than you think. They know a lot more than you think. So it doesn't bother me at all. If anything, it makes me re-inspired because I know that you're a part of a kid's childhood, and being a part of someone's childhood is sacred. And I always try and keep that in mind with kids,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's funny you had mentioned that, 5 years old. Our daughter's actually 5, and, well, she says those words quite a bit.
Hey, dude, I'm right there, man. I have an 8-year-old daughter. I think it's the cutest thing when she says "fuck you" to me. I really do.
Yeah,
the way it sounds coming out of a little kid's mouth is so adorable.
It is. Can't remember what was going on, but I was driving her home from school one day, and she did something in the back seat because she's 5, but she has a really high pitched voice. She just goes, "Oh fuck!" I'm like, "What the fuck did you just say?"
It's cuter than hell.
I'm like, and
you can't get mad at that.
I know. I'm like, oh well, just don't say that around your teacher or granddad and papa, and then you'll be okay, I guess.
Yeah, that's verbatim what I say to her. I was like, look, you do it as much as you want at home. Just don't do it at school. Not that I would even care if she got in trouble there, but I just don't want to deal with the teacher.
Exactly. that was my wife and I's exact conversation. Where she's actually sitting right next to me is when we put her in school this year. She started kindergarten. My wife says, that she's gonna be that kid. I'm like, well, if it happens, we'll just see what happens, and we'll kind of go from there. I mean, parent-teacher conference went well, so I think she's doing okay.
She's okay. And there's nothing wrong with being that kid. Those kids are the shit.
They're the best kids. They're the fun ones. They're the popular. So, yeah. Man, dude, Johnny, thank you this has been amazing. Thank you so much for taking time today. This record is, for me personally, American Tragedy is always going to be my favorite one. This is a very, very, very close second, only because with what was going on in my life at the time with American Tragedy, I connected so much with it. But
fucking awesome.
This is by far one of the best records you've made. It's balanced, it's mature, it's got something for it's weird to say, but every era of Hollywood Undead fan on this record. And so, I mean, you guys knocked it out of the park.
That's I'm stoked to hear it, man. I appreciate it, and I couldn't be happier that people feel the same way we do, Reggie. So trust me, it's a good thing to hear that.
Absolutely, man. I'll see you in about a month at Pierre's, man. I can't fucking wait. It's going to be great.
All right. Hey, come knock on the bus or come say hi because I don't know what you look like.
I will for sure.
Up and shit.
You got it, man.
Awesome, Reggie. Good talking to you, brother.
You too, man. I'll see you in a few weeks.